Hey there guys, and welcome back to Alex Invest. As we can see, the markets are mixed today, but a stock that's doing well today actually is MVMD, that's Mountain Valley Holding. And this is one that I originally said had potential back when they did their share offering, and they came down quite a bit from that share offering, right? And since then, we've actually stayed relatively flat. But I think a big reason for that is actually sort of the rally that we've seen in the clean energy sector, specifically hydrogen, right? I mean, if we look at F-Cell and Plug, right, those are two that I've really been pushing on this channel since all the way back when fuel cell was back at $5. That's basically when I started this channel, and it was one of the first videos I did. You know, we're up at $17 now, and I still think it's a buy actually here. And I was actually thinking about picking up some shares today, but I think I'll wait and see what happens tomorrow, because we might actually see a bigger pullback than what we've been seeing today. But I think the rally in those stocks has actually led MVMD to sort of have this downward trend that we've been seeing for the past few weeks, because all the investors are moving into that hydrogen industry, you know, and taking their money out of these other sectors or other industries, right? Investors are heading towards that clean energy industry right now. And when that stops, I think we will see the price of MVMD go up quite a lot. And we can already see some of that trend today as the hydrogen industry stocks were down today. MVMD is actually up currently 4% on the day. So that's something to keep in mind. It's an interesting trend that we might see, and a trend that's pretty common in the stock market. Now, that being said, that's not the reason why we saw a run today in the stock. The reason is likely it was just announced today that MVMD actually received the patent for their QuickSum technology in Canada. So now this is really good for a few reasons. The first one is sort of the business model that MVMD operates on, right? And that's really that they want to license out their technology to companies, which can then use their technology and essentially make whatever their own technology is better, right? So let's take an example here. Let's say they make a deal with Pfizer, right? And Pfizer leases out the technology from MVMD, their QuickSum technology, let's say, in order to make their drugs more soluble in the body and react quicker. And there's a bunch of other things that basically the QuickSum and QuickSol technologies do, but you can go check out those videos right up here. I'll link them there. But anyway, so in return of, Pfizer leasing out that technology from MVMD either gets paid for the license, or they get a stake in the company. And that's what we will move into in the next article we'll go through as well. So that's how essentially MVMD wants to operate here. Little operational costs, little tangible assets, and really making their entire business off of intangible assets and their patents and technology and stuff like that. That's one of the big reasons why these patents are so important, because in order to license out their proprietary technology, if they don't have patents on it, then anyone can use them anyways. So this is a big step for them, really, and I don't think that a 4% increase in the price really justifies this, especially with potentially some partnerships as well. We know their technology works, right? So now that they have a Canadian patent, a US patent, and a few other ones around the world, they're really going to be able to start licensing out this technology and start making revenues from it, but also helping other companies make their products and technologies more cost effective, more efficient, and easier to administer, right? Because it's not only for drugs. And that kind of gets us into the next news article, which actually came out only a day after I filmed my last MVMD video. And so the news came out on December 29th. And this is actually one of their first license agreements that came out with Circadian Wellness. And the article really shows where the company's headed, right? With those licensing agreements, we can kind of see their business model and business strategy through this. And, Dennis Hancock, their CEO, talks quite fondly of the business model that they have, because it could work very well in this industry because of sort of the technology they have that's applicable in many different industries in the health sector. Like I said, that is to license out their patented technology for other companies to use, and they get paid for that. Or in this case, they got a 9% stake in Circadian Wellness, but they also had to give up one of their properties in Victoria Island in BC. I was looking at Circadian Wellness, and it's hard really to value them as a company, so I can't really tell you guys how much a 9% stake is worth. This is a privately held company, and not only that, but they don't even really have their website fully operational yet. Their shop on their website isn't up yet. It says it's coming soon. and there's really not much information about this company. It's a new one as well. But they essentially have different mushrooms which do different things for health and wellness. Now, obviously, I'm not sure how scientific this is. It could be, I don't know, I'm not hating on it or anything, but there are a lot of products and companies out there that push something that is not necessarily true, and a lot of it's really just marketing. You can look at a lot of health drinks out there. Kombucha, for example, there's a big kombucha craze and those superfood craze and all that, right? So it could be a big thing here, and that's all good. It's hard to value this deal, right? And I think that's part of the reason why we saw the stock price decrease actually quite a bit on the news, because it was announced through the announcement as well that they were selling some property in BC, which they don't use, granted, right? And, I don't think MVMD would just make a deal just for a license agreement here, because they know the technology they have. They know they're 500 to 800% more soluble with their ivermectin, and, with their QuickSum technology being applicable in so many different fields. This is really just one application of so many out there. And that's really what I want to focus on this article. It's not about circadian wellness here. It's about the fact that they are able to license out their technology in so many different industries here, right? I mean, who would have thought a mushroom extract company would be looking for this technology, right? And it just goes to show sort of the wide range of industries that MVMD can get into here, right? From drugs all the way to mushroom extracts, right? So very interesting there. And again, it also speaks to that business model that they have here, because they are able to have such a wide range of industries that they can work with. That's why this business model actually works. If their product or their technology would only work in one specific industry or company, right, then this technology wouldn't work, because you can only really license it to a few select companies. But in this case, because there's such a wide range here, we can really take this business model and make it work for this company. Now, what's so great about this business model is it really makes them sort of set for growth here, because they have little tangible assets, and most of their assets are intangible, right? And so that means they really don't have too many costs associated with any production or manufacturing here, because that's all done by the companies really licensing out their product here. The big thing that they have to do is their research and development, right? And that's going to make up most of the costs that they have here, that, and of course their patents and things like that. But again, other than that, they don't really have too many operational costs. So that's really why I think this one could be set for massive growth here, because as they gain more license agreements, their profit obviously goes up dramatically, while their costs stay generally at the same level, meaning the margin you have in between there, right, becomes so much greater than you could otherwise achieve. And since they've validated their QuickSum technology and they're on their way to validate their QuickSol technology here, I really don't see too much risk, unless later on down the road we find out that the technology doesn't work as well as we originally thought. So now that you guys have a better idea of their business model and sort of where this company can go, I wanted to mention two other catalysts that I see here. And the first one's that they're applying to the OTCQB market. Now, this is sort of the mid-tier of the OTC markets, right? And if they do end up getting listed here, this could mean that there's more confidence in the stock, and also that everything's sort of legitimate here. And so if that happens, I do see a lot of other investors coming into sort of the stock, as they see there's now less risk involved with a company like this, right? And so again, that's why I'm holding my shares here. That I see is actually a pretty near-term catalyst if it goes well. Now, if they do not get listed, then we may actually see the price of MVMD come down as well. So something to keep in mind there too. There's still a lot of risk involved with this one, very small cap company in the health sector. Yes, their technology is mostly proven, but they still have yet to implement a lot of those license agreements to move forward with this, right? So early stages, high risk, but it seems they're doing everything right. I really like their CEO as well. And obviously another big catalyst would be getting a license agreement with any of these big drug manufacturers, think Pfizer or Moderna. Hopefully that happens, but of course I don't see that happening for quite some time still. but is something to keep in mind as well. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for the video today. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment as always. And other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.